This was in the 90s. We came to a building that was an old building that had been deserted for 20 years. Now when we came there, one of our teachers, he said to us, he said, because we started off living in one corner and we're going to slowly start using the rooms till the other side of the Madrasa. Now this place had 120 rooms. And we were in the east wing and we were just staying just in a few rooms. We were talking about literally about 7 or 8 rooms. And teachers said, they said, don't go to the west side of the building. I'm telling you, you know, as young people, you dare yourselves, right? Yeah. So he said, come on, let's dare to go over there, right? So we were young. We went into the west side in broad daylight, 12 o'clock. As we're walking, we can hear doors banging, bang, bang, creaking, things opening, you know, we just run. And the teachers warned us, you know, don't go over there. Now what happened is one of these, there's this young kid, I'm not going to give you his name, he's probably grown up now, he's probably got kids now, right? So I don't want to embarrass him. He was a kid, about 13 years old I'd say, from Bangladesh. He didn't know a word of English, forget anything else, right? He just knew Bengali. And he was the most quietest kid you can imagine. And he's trying to become a hafiz of the Quran and he only has done 1 juz. So one day what happens is that he sort of strays off, I don't know, he goes over to the other side and he comes back. And no one sort of takes much notice of it, but he comes back and the evening when we're all sitting together and we're sort of reading, I wasn't there in the hall at that time, but there were others who said that, but then I went over to the hall to verify this. So this is something that I have verified myself. What happened is that he came with his Quran up to his teacher. You can imagine a kid who's lallu pattu, who doesn't know a single thing, yeah? He comes with the Quran to his teacher, puts it right in front of him and he says to him, he says, test me. And he doesn't say in English, he says it in Arabic. And his kid suddenly knows Arabic, right? So he says, test me. And his teacher looks at him and he thinks, is he having a laugh? Test me. Any way you want. Yeah. So the teacher says, okay. The Quran's closed. He said, okay, read from the 15th juz. He says, Subhanalladhi asra bi abdi laylan min al-masjid al-haram ila al-masjid al-aqsa alladhi barakna hawla. And the teacher looks at him and thinks, what is happening to this kid? So the teacher then tests him from another place and another place and another place. And this kid now knows the Quran. And the kid challenges the teacher in speaking Arabic. And this kid has got really good Arabic all of a sudden, right? And then, you know, when we heard this, we came over and I specifically went, you know, met him and I start talking and he started talking Arabic. Weird. What happens is now this kid is acting really weird. Because he goes and he gets a hair clipper and he shaves half of his head and he leaves the other half as it is. Takes his hat off, walks down the corridor with half of his hair on one side long and the other half is completely shaven. Now kids are freaking out. Jin, 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 jin. Right? Imagine this guy's name is Imran. I'm just making it, I'm not saying his real name, yeah? Imagine his name is Imran or something. They said that we hear all across the wall something dragging its nails or whatever it is and saying, Now what's common is in exorcism is that you would recite something, and when you recite it, you're able to, when you recite something, you know, some part of the Quran, then the jinn gets affected because they can't stand the Quran and then they will actually leave. In this case, this jinn was a believing jinn, and this jinn was a hafiz of the Quran, and this jinn knew Arabic. So when the teacher was reciting something trying to recite something to blow on it, the jinn inside this human being was reciting the adverse ayah to break the effect of that. I'm sitting there watching this. So the shaykh is reciting and this jinn is undoing whatever recitation he's doing. And he was, you know, the shaykh saying, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ فَتَنُوا الْمُؤْمِنَ وَالْمُسْلِمَانَ لَمْ يَتُوبُوا فَلَهُمْ عَذَابُ جَهَنَّمَ وَلَهُمْ عَذَابُ الْحَرِيقِ. And this other jinn from inside will recite something else. So he's undoing whatever the shaykh was saying. There are certain things that you will not believe in unless you deal with it. We left him in his home for 1 month. After 1 month he came back and he was the same docile kid you knew. Looked down while he walked, never knew a word of English or Arabic, and only knew one juz of the Quran.
قل أوحي إلي أنه استمع نفر من الجن فقالوا إنا سمعنا قرآنا عجبا يهدي إلى الرشد فآمنا به ولن نشرك بربنا أحدا.